can set the world on fire. With fire and desire. You can set the world on fire. Chase your dreams and you will.
Hi, I'm Ray Bishop for the iDream project, and today we're talking with journalist Neil Waka about his dreams and his career.
You got to become your dream. You got to become your dream. You got to become your dream.
Kia ora, I'm Neil Waka for the iDream project, and I just want to encourage you everywhere, to follow your dreams.
Every day is a chance to live your dream. The magic deep inside you is so.
How important is having a dream to you?
Well, I think without dreams, you're not ever going to be able to achieve your goals. You know, you've got a dream as a young guy. I think when you see nice things, when you see people achieving things, you want the opportunity to achieve those things too, and you can't. I don't think you can achieve them without dreaming about it first and then taking the next step.
And when did you first think about becoming a newsreader, a journalist?
I was quite young when we used to have black and white television. A lot of kids won't appreciate black and white now because they have them on they have televisions on their phones. But when I was young, we used to still have black and white television, and our television would muck up a lot. But when it did work, I used to watch a guy called Philip Sherry read the news in black and white, and I was just amazed that this guy could look at the camera and he could talk and he could read about what was going on in the news. I don't think I paid too much attention to the actual news, but I was pretty fascinated. I guess some actors are really interested to see actors and what they do. I was more interested in watching news anchors and how they did it. And I think from quite an early age, back in single digits, I used to enjoy watching news anchors and wondered what it would be like, and I think I took it more seriously when I was about 12, and I wrote a letter. My mother kept it, and she thought it was funny to send it to the listener when I ended up on television. A letter I wrote to Avalon Studios, letting them know that I was available to read news if they were interested. So I guess 12, 13 was when I really took an interest in becoming a news anchor, but it was really still only a dream, of course, and so I tried to do all I could to achieve that goal.
So what was it like when you finally became that news anchor?
I found it really difficult. I don't know if most people would find it difficult. What had happened is I'd done journalism, and I studied journalism, and I was also in radio at the time, and an opportunity came up to join the new network then, Television 3, but I'd also applied for the police, and I had been accepted down to the police college, and I was all set to go, and then this television opportunity came up. So I talked to the recruiting officer, and he gave me the opportunity to put that on hold for a while. I think it's still on hold, although I don't know if they want any crusty old dudes in the police now. But I took up the television option, and when I went into television, I found it really difficult. The things that I'd learnt in radio weren't necessarily always what I needed in television. You know, for example, you learnt to project your voice. Television, you just didn't need to. You've got microphones sitting right on, and if the camera was 2 meters away, I'd almost be yelling at the camera, and I just found it difficult to get the right mix. I couldn't relax on camera. And I think it was at the time where a lot of people at TV3 were being made redundant, and I thought, you know what, this could happen to me, so I really want to just knuckle down, do the best I can, so if I'm successful, I can make it through. If I'm not, then at least I know I gave it a good shot. And so I just practiced and spent so much time on trying to develop my skills in front of the camera. And it probably took me, maybe it takes other people a lot quicker, but it probably took me around 2 years to really get comfortable being in front of the camera. And it was a thrill. Once I got comfortable, then it became a thrill, because then I tried to develop other skills. But for the first couple of years in television, I didn't get to enjoy it as much because I was so focused on making sure I could set a certain standard for myself.
Take some time to appreciate what you got. Go get what yours, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. Search to find that passion.
Where were you born?
I was actually born in Trentham. I don't consider myself to be an Upper Hutter or a Wellingtonian because my father was there in the army, and first 4 years was in Trentham, and then we moved to Wairau. That's probably the closest place to my hometown, but then we moved to Porirua, and then we moved to Rotorua. So Rotorua is when I started high school, and Rotorua is really where I consider my hometown to be.
And what was it like growing up there?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was a bit rough at times. You know, we didn't live in the flashiest street, but it was a good opportunity to learn to cope with some difficult situations. One of the things I got involved in was for tourists in the cultural side of things, and we used to perform at different venues for tourists. That was kind of fun when you're a young guy, you know, you get to perform in front of these young cutie chicks that would come over from overseas, and they thought these native people were kind of cute, you know. That was kind of fun. That was my first exposure really to the entertainment industry, and of course with the Morrisons there and so many other people there, it's a great hub for learning the entertainment side of things, I think.
Now, did you know that you'd become successful from there?
No, I didn't consider that I would be successful in this particular field, but I had dreams of achieving. You know, I saw school as a means to an end, really, to learn as much as I could in the topics I thought were more appropriate and convenient for me. For those that I didn't think were necessary for my future, I didn't spend too much time on. But I wanted to achieve certain things in my life. I wanted to create a future for my future family, and I knew that hard work and being at the right place at the right time and a bit of luck was what was required.
It's a place where we learn all about life. It's a web we learn what is wrong from right.
How important is family to you?
Oh, I don't think anyone will dispute that family, the crucial cornerstone of any career. You know, it's really difficult to make your way on your own. If it's your own family, some people don't have a family as such, a blood family, so their family might end up being friends that they're very close to and they trust them. I think your family is crucial to becoming anything, whether it's becoming the best person to serve at McDonald's or the best jeweler. I think having family support keeps you grounded in a lot of ways. My family, when I got onto television, I knew they were talking about me when I wasn't there and talking me up, but when I was there, they didn't tend to, except for my older sister. She gave me a lot more confidence because she'd tell me how amazing I was. You know, and I probably wasn't, but she made me feel good. And I think being in television and on radio is a real confidence thing. You've got to feel like you've got something to contribute. The difficulty is at that time there were no Māori or very few Māori on television, and I felt that might pull me back a little bit. But I was determined to show that Māori could be as good, if not better, than anybody else that was on television. I don't know if I achieved that. I hope I went some way to achieving that. There are a lot more Māori on air now, and to be viewed as a television news anchor rather than Māori is kind of cool as well, because it shows that, you know, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to if it's meant to be.
Now, would you have been the same success without your family support?
Like I think I would have, I feel I'd like to have been successful at anything, no matter what. There were, I tell you what I found, there were difficult times. You know, everyone goes through some really tough times, and at those times is when the family really tended to stand out for me, and I really appreciated the support I got from my family. It's not always when things are good. sometimes selfishly, I guess we go through life and we forget about people who are important or don't place them in such a high priority order. But when times are tough for whatever reason, various situations, it's always nice to have family there that you feel you can rely on, and I've done that a few times and been able to rely on members of my family to get me through really difficult stages.
That was journalist Neil Waka, and I hope that his story inspires you to follow your dreams.
Fire and desire, you can set the world